Hello, my name's Chris Carpenter. I've had a blood clot in my leg, but this is my story, and it's how they fixed it. I've always liked walking, so walking is very important to us as a family. We've trekked in Morocco and in Nepal and in Bhutan as well. There's nothing like being up in the mountains, actually. I have an underlying blood condition which makes my blood too thick. I'd lost a lot of weight, and so I ended up actually in hospital a couple of times during the summer. And I came out actually of the Churchill Hospital, and it felt like chilled blades in my toes, and when I looked at them they were sort of whitish. And so I contacted the haematology people again, who got in touch with the vascular surgeons, and they said, we'll go into A&Es more or less straight away. I hadn't realised that I was having sort of blockages in my leg, effectively.
A leg attack is where the blood flow to a leg suddenly ceases, and the leg becomes immediately very painful, and it is threatened. So unless we get the blood flow back to that leg within a few hours, then patients can end up losing their leg, and also there is a risk of death. So in our studies we've shown that despite improvements in our treatment, still about 20 to 30% of patients, so we're talking 1 in 5 to 1 in 3 patients who present with a leg attack will lose a leg. Of the patients that end up having an amputation, the risk of them then dying within the following year is in the region of 30 to 40%. So this is a very serious situation. And thankfully we do have improvements in our treatment options for people. Mechanical thrombectomy, which we're using more and more now, has the benefit that we can see what we're doing. We can actually put a catheter inside the artery from the groin, and then we can suck out the clot all the way down the leg under X-ray guidance. So by the time we finish the treatment, we can see on our X-ray imaging that we've removed everything and the blood flow is restored. Mr. Carpenter was presented with a really challenging leg attack, actually. His arteries were effectively blocked from the knee down.
I was awake all of the time. I wasn't sedated. I just had a local anaesthetic. I could watch them twiddling around with the catheters. They, in fact, then got right down to my toes and cleared everything. And it was hugely successful because I do have blood flow back in my toes now. It's fine. I'm walking fine. There's no problems at all.
The procedure was relatively fast. I think it took about an hour and a half to place a wire and a sheath in his groin, and then image his arteries under X-ray and clear all of the clot from the level of the popliteal artery behind the knee down to his foot.
I hadn't appreciated until after the procedure quite how serious the condition was in my leg. I thought of losing a leg. In fact, after I had the procedure done, I stopped in hospital for a couple of days afterwards, and in the next bed to me was somebody that had lost their leg for, I think it was probably diabetes or something. And I thought, gosh, that's not what I would have, the thought of having to be in hospital and then rehabilitation after that is life-changing. We've been now looking at different options of where we might go. We want to go back to Italy, I think, but there are other places on our bucket list, Carcassonne or maybe Rome.